Hey guys, it's time for my top five. This time, the 1930s. I've had a number of people have asked me about the 30s, and a few people think I was going to have a tough time coming up with five movies from the 30s. But man, just the opposite. The 30s were a wealth of great movies in the 30s. In fact, every decade, for the most part, has had some great movies. And I'm going to recap the whole thing when I get done. I've got the 20s to do, and I think I'm going to stop there because there really wasn't much done, and not much has survived prior to the 20s. A lot of films were lost prior to, the ones that were made prior to 1920. Even a lot of those were lost, but even the ones after 1920, quite a few were lost for numerous reasons, which I may get into when I do the 20s. But even the 30s, for instance, this first movie was the original print has never been was destroyed somewhere around 1939, 1940. A very controversial movie, but at number five, I've got Jean Renoir's The Rules of the Game. For many, one of the greatest movies ever made. I'll be in that group. Great movie. Love this edition too. I know. The Criterion people have actually come out with a newer edition to this, supposedly a little bit better print. I just love this packaging. This is a blue transparent slip over the case itself. I'm not going to take it out of here, but it's like black and white underneath, but this is a blue. I just love the look of it. It just looks totally different than anything else I've got, especially from the Criterion people. And then the slip on the back, same deal. So anyway, great movie, 2-disc set here. It's basically it's a sarcastic or a critical look at the French bourgeoisie around 1938-9, somewhere around there. This movie came out actually 1939, I believe. Let me see. Let me take a peek here, see if I can spot the year real quick. 1939, what do you know? Very controversial. For many reasons, how it portrays the government and the rich and so on, it was really not looked upon favorably. And so the original print was destroyed, and the version we have here is one that was kind of restored in 1959. It's still a great movie, great print, and everything else, but the original one was not able to be found, evidently. A lot of movies around this time were destroyed. If you know anything about movie making, back in the 30s, silver nitrate was used on the actual film. And around 1939, 1940, 1941, guess what? Silver was in high demand for many reasons for wartime. And so a lot of the movies that were on silver nitrate were actually destroyed, burned, melted down for the silver. Anyway, a little bit of trivia, but Rules of the Game. Love the look of this one. Great movie by Jean Renoir. All about the antics and escapades of a group of rich people who are kind of clueless in a big mansion. I don't want to give it too much more away, but a lot of things happen within it. It's just a great movie. Highly recommend it if you've never seen it. Jean Renoir's The Rules of the Game. My number five film in the 1930s. All right, moving along from that one, let's go to my number four movie. Something totally different, but just as critical, more in a comedic role. Well, a lot in a comedic role. How about Charlie Chaplin's Modern Times? And this was a definite critique of the entire, industrial, get ahead at any cost, productivity that was taking place in this country with the onset of factories and the cities kind of, growing up with production facilities and so on. This is a 1936 film. This was well after the first talkie was made. Charlie Chaplin still wanted to make a silent movie because he felt that it was more universal, that it could reach more people, that it was that the acting was better in a silent movie because you had to be better, because you couldn't rely on words to get across what you were thinking, feeling. And so the art of pantomime was big in his movies, but not the overly dramatic pantomime of the 20s. He was able to find a more subtle way to have both he and his other actors and actresses get across their emotions. So this is a great film. It's a Criterion Collection again. 1936, 87 minutes, black and white. Just a great movie. A lot of extras on this too. I tell you that. Basically, I'm telling you about the movie, but if you wanted to know what edition to get, this is the one to get. Modern Times on Blu-ray. It looks outstanding on Blu-ray. I can't say it sounds great, although there is music, so it does sound good. And there is, Charlie Chaplin does do a song, although it's total gibberish. He sings in I don't know what language it is. I think it's just a made-up language, but it's kind of cool. If you've never seen it, you can Google it. Charlie Chaplin sings in modern times, or song from modern times. It's actually quite funny. And you kind of know what he's talking about, even though he doesn't say a word in English or any other comprehensible language. It doesn't seem to matter. You check it out. Anyway, Charlie Chaplin's Modern Times, for me, the fourth best movie of the 1930s. And you could argue that City Lights should be here instead, but I'm going to go with Modern Times. I think it's funnier. City Lights isn't necessarily meant to be funny. All of his movies have some comedy, of course, and they all have some drama. But I just like this. There's just so many classic scenes in Modern Times, and it looks great. So that is number 4 for me, Charlie Chaplin's Modern Times. Number 3, what do you say we go for another Criterion movie here? And this one is going to be, and I toyed with putting this one higher, actually, but it's going to be number 3. Fritz Lang's M, 1931, and the oldest movie that is in my 30s movies. This one, beautiful movie. I think it was Fritz Lang's first talkie, if I'm not mistaken. And Peter Lorre does an outstanding job in this, actually in his native language of German. Of course, we know Peter Lorre from movies like The Maltese Falcon and other movies, and he had that very distinctive accent. And he's been certainly imitated over the years, if you know much about Peter Lorre. But he's outstanding in this movie. It is in German with English subtitles, 1.19 to 1 ratio, 110 minutes, 1931. There's a conversation with Fritz Lang in here that to me is worth the price alone. Fritz Lang, to me, was just a brilliant director. A great booklet in here also. It's just a great psychological thriller. It provided the blueprint for future psychological thrillers that would be done throughout the years. Peter Lorre is a serial killer who preys on children. And you know that early in the movie, so I'm not giving much away. The movie isn't really about trying to find out who did it, although it is. We know who did it. It's the more the police and their efforts to try to determine it, and then the public's reaction to and subsequent reaction to when Peter Lorre is found as well, and the whole trial that takes place that's of interest here. It's not so much about who done it. We know who done it. It's how does he get caught, and then how does the town react. Great movie. Again, I don't want to give a lot away because I think these movies are ones you really have to see. But basically, with this one, he gets a lot of mileage. Peter Lorre does, and Fritz Lang does, out of just little sound effects and so on. For instance, he whistles, and this whistle that he does is menacing, though it's really not. We know that he's a killer, so the whistle becomes menacing. He whistles because he's about to prey on a child, which makes it that much scarier. I've always felt, and you can argue for Saw and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and those movies all have their place. But a movie like Psycho or M, or a movie that holds you in suspense, and the dread of the event is far worse than the actual event. And it takes an awful lot of gore and dismemberment and intestines being pulled out for me to even come close to the dread and fear that you have in a movie that does it right. And I think M does it right in a lot of ways. So, again, it's not meant to be a horror movie per se, but I think it's got a lot of those elements in it. So that is number 3. If you've never seen M by Fritz Lang, I really think you should check it out. It's on the Criterion Collection. Check it out. Okay. Now, number 2, and it was a tough choice for 2 and 1, but I went with this one, a little bit heavier to get it out. Yeah, The Wizard of Oz. Almost was number one, but it didn't make number one. You know, on another day it might be number one. It's a great movie, 1939, I believe. A lot of interesting things about The Wizard of Oz. This is a great package, by the way. This is a DVD. I would have liked to have gotten the Blu-ray, but I got the DVD. It's a great package, and I picked it up for it was like $12, believe it or not. This package came for $12. It's got some great artwork here on it. I'm going to show off the package a little bit here. You see the artwork there. It's got a great booklet here, or book, I should say, not booklet. A great book that's in this. That's all about the production and so on and so forth. So that's pretty cool. Behind the Curtain, it's called. And yeah, really nice book. If you're into The Wizard of Oz, whoops, and this is a production cost right there. It's a memo. I'm not going to turn it over, but it's a production cost memo. A lot of pictures here. A lot of information about the movie. And I love stuff like that. I mean, to me, it adds to the movie when you've got, stuff like this, get the cast, and just a lot of information about the movies here. And then you've got some other stuff here. You've got a complete campaign book that, what a great, colorful thing this is. I mean, can you just see this being used back in the 30s? This is exactly what it looked like. And this is all the stuff that was used to advertise The Wizard of Oz throughout. Just a lot of stuff. I'm not going to take everything out because it's really not about this package, but it's a great package. And I believe the Blu-ray package has essentially the same stuff in it. There's a watch in here, and then you've got the actual movie here as well. And this is a 4-disc set on DVD. Some other stuff down there, the digital copy and some other stuff, codes and so on. But just look at the packaging on this thing. Just an amazing, amazing package. Everything's done right on this. Yeah, I totally got a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore. Wizard of Oz 70th Anniversary Edition, which is what this is. Yeah, each disc is really shiny here, and this stupid light is killing me, but it shows off the disc so much better when you get to something like that. It really does play well to show you, and each of the main characters are there. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful thing here. So you get the DVD. Each disc has got some special features and so on it. And look, even at the top here, there's you're not going to be able to see it, but there's a cartoon characterization of each character here above their heads. Really good stuff here, guys. I highly recommend this set for those of you who don't have The Wizard of Oz yet. You might want to consider it on Blu-ray. I don't know what it goes for on Blu-ray. Probably a lot of money. But I say I got it for like $15 delivered on DVD. Oops, I got to put that sleeve back in. Well, I'll mess with this later. For right now, I'm just going to put it to the side, and then I'll get to it in a little bit. Put the sleeve back on shortly. And come to my number one movie of the 1930s. My wife is proud of me. She said, I hope you picked this movie for number one. I said, I did. So she's happy with me. This is Gone with the Wind. Big shocker there, huh? If I hadn't mentioned Gone with the Wind until now. By the way, the Wizard of Oz is a limited set, as is this. Only 150,000 of these were made. So I have 30,803 out of 150,000. 150,000, not a lot for a movie like Gone with the Wind. This is a velvet, reddish. It looks pink, but it's red. The video makes it look pink, at least what I'm looking at here. It's not as red as that, but it's still red. I think because it's velvety, it looks more pink. But great package. It just slides off here, which I like. It's got shows all the stuff that's in it right here on the back. You've got the booklet. You've got 4 DVDs here. I'm sorry, this is a Blu-ray set, not a DVD set. So you've got the Blu-ray highlights. You've got the actual movie. You get a bonus DVD and an 8-hour documentary on MGM. I'm sorry, 6-hour documentary on MGM When the Lion Roars. Just 8 hours of extras, revealing extras about this timeless classic. More than 3 hours are new to this particular collection. There's a Gone with the Wind, The Legend Lives On featurette, and so on. A lot of stuff here. I'll give you a quick look inside. I don't know if I'm going to take it apart like I did the other one. Maybe I will. This one, again, really nice. opens up, and this one has a little bit of a couple things here to keep it open. There's Scarlett O'Hara with a great shot from the movie. Great Technicolor on this one. You know, this one and Wizard of Oz were both up for Picture of the Year, for the Academy Award for Best Picture in 1939. You know which one won? Post it down in the comments. They were both up for it, though. And here's some, promotional stuff that was done for this movie. Let's see. Yeah, I'll just flip through this book a little bit. And the Vivian Leigh. It was a. I'm gonna shut this while I do this. It was questionable as to who was going to be the actress. They knew Clark Gable, but they didn't know Vivian Leigh. They had tried a lot of different ones out. Clark Gable was always going to be Rhett Butler, rightfully so. Just a wonderful booklet here. Sticker to the Wizard of Oz one. More pictures in it. Quite a lot of pictures, actually. Both artwork and not as much information, I don't think, is in the Wizard of Oz one, but a lot more pictures. There's more information on the document. Although I shouldn't say there's a lot of documentary information on both. This is just really a great booklet here. Yeah, really looks nice in the back of the book. Of course, it's a hardcover, just like the one for the Wizard of Oz. Anyway, great stuff. I'm not going to go through everything, but it's a great movie, and it's my #1 pick for my top movies of the 30s. All right, guys, for now, I'm out of here. Take care. Next time will be the 20s.